I want to tell you a little story about a group of entrepreneurs who taught me a really important lesson over the summer. I thought I knew everything. I've been in business for years. I've been in corporate before that. I've written all these columns. I speak. I do the radio show. I thought I had seen everything and knew everything there was to know about business. Well, over the summer, I was introduced to a new kind of entrepreneur called a contractor. Anyone in here ever had dealings with a contractor? And I'm not talking about a technical contractor. I'm talking like a building contractor, a pool contractor. My wife walked in one day and she goes, "Honey, I think we need to have a pool put in the backyard." Which was her way of saying, "Honey, we're having a pool put in the backyard." And I'm like, okay, well, just, whatever. And that's when I became introduced to contractors. And boy, they're a different kind of entrepreneur. Let me tell you something. These are guys that operate there on the edge. We have the pool contractor, the fencing contractor, the electrical contractor, the contractor who dug the dirt out of the hole, the contractor who hauled the dirt away. Just a whole bunch of contractors. Let me tell you something. I don't know how these boys stay in business, to be honest with you, because they seem to ignore all the usual rules of business, like, getting licenses and keeping appointments and finishing jobs and, things that might be a little important to business. But they did teach me a couple of things. For example, I learned that when a contractor says, "Yes, sir, we'll be there at 8 o'clock in the morning," what he really means is, "Well, we'll be out there some point over the next 6 to 12 months. Yeah? When he goes, "Well, yes, sir, I guarantee my work," he forgets to add, "if you can find me." But, and I don't want you to think that I'm really, down on all contractors. This was just really a stereotypical bunch of good old boys. Madison, Alabama, what do you expect? They all drove big pickup trucks. They had dirty work boots, torn blue jeans and T-shirts. And they had names like Bubba, Jim Bob, Billy Bob, and my favorite, Tiny, who was the fattest guy on the crew. Now, let me give you a little sidebar here. Naming a fat guy Tiny, it makes about as much sense as naming a three-legged dog Lucky, or a bald-headed guy Harry. It's funny at first, but then it wears kind of thin, kind of like Tiny's pants. But I can tell you this, Tiny was a great guy, had a great sense of humor, and my daughter Sierra and I were out watching them work on the pool one day, and every time Tiny would bend down, Sierra would go, "Don't do crack." To which I'd reply, "Crack of the moon." Then we turned around and saw Mama standing there, and the cracks stopped. But it was quite the experience. It really was, and it has driven me to come up with what I call Tim's 10 Commandments of Business Success. And I've got one of these for everyone if you want it. It's got that wonderful picture on. Isn't that a good-looking mug up there? But here's what I learned from these contractors. And mostly it's what not to do, but here's what I learned. And I would like for you to just take one of these cards today and put it to work. If not in your own business, put it to work in your daily life here at AdTran, because it will make the company better, okay? Commandment number 1, when you offer a bid on a job, honor its terms. Is that groundbreaking or what? When you commit to a schedule, stick to it. I didn't think that pool would ever be finished. We got to use it one day before they closed it down. My little girl was not happy. When you promise a price, don't go over it. Can everybody go, "Duh," for me, please? Duh. Oh, that was the worst duh I've ever heard in my life. Oh, my God. If you say duh real quick, I'll let you go back to work. Duh. All right. Number 4, when you set an appointment, keep it. I can't tell you how many appointments I set with these boys, and they never showed up. And the funny thing about it was, when they finally showed up, they didn't even mention the fact that they'd missed the appointment. They're like, "Hey, we're here. Are you happy?" "Yes, we're happy. Please work for 30 minutes before you leave." Here's a big one at my house. When you screw up, admit it and fix it. When you get a job, finish it. The fencing contractor honestly took 6.5 months to finish my fence. He would send 2 guys out about every other week, and they'd put up a section and then disappear. Do you think I've paid him yet? I'll pay him in 6.5 months. Not a day before. When a customer needs help, give it. When you beat the competition, love it. When a team member has an idea, listen to it. And finally, when someone gives you responsibility, take it. those 10 commandments really were a valuable lesson to me. And I owe it to my buddies, the pool contractors. You know, to moral of the story, the pool turned out great. My wife's happy. The kids are happy. The contractors are happy. And I'm happy because I get to share that story with everyone I meet.